Welcome to the very first Galactic Line construction kit. You can get all the data you need out of this particular screen, but I'll walk you through it too. Basically, you can build spaceships, and I would like you to, so that I can know whether or not this method works, whether people like it, whether it slows your machine down to a crawl, that sort of stuff. If you press Tab, you pull up this screen here, and you can choose to load up any of the ships that I've given you, or one that you've made yourself, and you can also choose to pull up these parts manifests, which list a whole bunch of parts. Don't worry, this will get better in the future with icons that actually visually show the part and filtering and stuff like that, but for now, we'll work off of our names and put in a cockpit. So here you can see that the cockpit is projected against the red plane and mirrored off the blue plane. Click to place it. Click to pick it up. The camera rotates, it's an orbital camera, but it'll rotate around whatever part you've right-clicked on. So when you right-click to rotate the camera, it will snap to whatever part you've highlighted, and you can quickly maneuver around the ship and you won't get confused. Let's go ahead and put in some rooms. And a reactor. You might be wondering, rooms? That sounds kind of vague. Well, don't worry, because if you hit 2, you can see the rooms in question. Choose to replace them. For example, if you don't like this bunk room, replace it with a health room. Right-click to dismiss that, and hit 1 to go back to editing the ship proper. You can add in whatever you'd like. Here's a fuel tank. There's no strict limit on where you can place these things, so feel free to place them wherever you want, but that looks kind of dumb. So let's go ahead and put in a mount. This one here. It's rotated incorrectly. Well, you can rotate things by holding Shift and then using WSAD-QE. If you just tap Shift, it'll revert to a specific rotation. So if you do get it rotated weird, don't worry too much about it. You can just hit Shift. Go. Rotate this. Now those 2-meter mounts on the top and the bottom are definitely places where we can stick stuff. So let's go ahead and stick some stuff. Like, for example, these hydrogen tanks. That's not really how they're supposed to be put on. You could do it like that, but instead let's move the ground plane up. By holding Control and hitting W or S, you can move the ground plane up or down. Also, if you're holding Control and you click, you can duplicate a part. Hitting Escape after you've duplicated or grabbed a part will send it away into the ether. You can also use parts from other manifests. You don't have to stick to just one part manifest. And that includes different size ships and different types of ships and all sorts of stuff. In this case, let's stick on a rocket engine. Here we are. We can even go into the small ship manifest and stick on some really small stuff like this. Parts that were intended for very tiny ships are still able to be included on these larger ships if you really want them to be. So there's lots of options, and I'd love to see you play around with it. Go ahead and send me some screenshots of anything you create, and tell me whether or not you like it or hate it, what you'd like to see different in the future. You can create fully functional ships out of this, but the game doesn't know how to tell you yet. I'm still working on the part UI and the overall ship UI, so feel free to just play around however you'd like until then. Have a good one.